Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining. As the name says, it's going to be more about AI disclosure and how ethically we are supposed to handle AI, because that has been boom in terms of in the academia, especially within the academicians, researchers, also in the publishing community. So today it's going to be a quick 20 to 25 minutes of session, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples at the end. But before I show the examples, I would like to present a small presentation. We will have a question and answer session if time permits at the end. Let me share my screen. You are also allowed to please post your questions in the chat box whenever possible. During the presentation I will try to answer, or at the end of presentation. And if you want to unmute and ask any question, please raise your hand so that you'll be given a chance to ask any question. I hope this is clear. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope the screen is up. Can anyone confirm again by raising hand or putting in the chat box, or a thumbs up? Is my screen up? Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you, Rajalakshmi. Okay, so let's get into the session. Okay, so why is it important to know about the AI disclosure? I know I was just going through all the names like who have joined. Over 80% of you I know almost personally, and I know so many people are actually in the process of pursuing masters or in the phase of doing PhD, or also I do see many academicians in the participant list. So that gives a clear understanding and picture above anyone in the master's level are actually trying to push their research work in terms of publication. That's the reason you guys have joined. I totally agree on that. So why actually this matters? I thought I should share some of the aspects which I was reading a couple of months back. I have been planning for this session since long time, but due to so many reasons, I couldn't do it. But why is this matters? I'm not sure how many of you know about ICMJE. I'll tell you what is ICMJE when I show the Google page where we can also do a quick reading. It has added its all standalone AI section now. There used to be only four sections. Right now, there is an fifth section, mainly with respect to AI disclosure. And very three key importance they have mentioned are: AI tools cannot be listed as authors and there must be disclosed at the submission. I will tell you what is the meaning of disclosure. And publisher are already enforcing it, because you go to any publication process, whenever you submit your paper, there will be a statement requesting for how much of AI was used in terms of generating this paper. So most of the publisher are okay to use an AI, but as an author, you are expected to disclose it. So the integrity of entire process is being maintained. And again, third reason is, yeah, the research integrity. Due to data fabrication and current availability of all the AI tools, once you go for a subscription based model, you have a chance to fabricate a lot of data, which also can be actually identified using AI. The AI, whatever is being actually fabricated, can be captured in an AI platform. So some of these things we will see. So for the next 25 minutes, I want you to just focus on these 5 points, 4 points. Why AI cannot be an author? I think the first point is like is been spoken for the last 1 year or so. That's the reason I see MJE has brought up with the guidelines. We'll see the reporting prompts as a history. Is it really important? And I will take you through the guidelines and some aspects on the confidentiality. So why AI cannot be an author? So AI system cannot take the responsibility for what they produce, cannot meaningfully consent to anything, and as a legal entity. And it cannot withhold any copyright or manage conflict of interest. So this is the key as aspect they have provided when it comes to AI. So AI is something like whenever you please them, it will not tell you anything. If you also scold them, it will not tell you anything. Whatever you ask for, it will keep adding and then giving you as some response. Whether it is a positive or like a good or bad depends on how you ask and what you ask. So that's the whole aspect about using AI. So that's the reason all the ICJ, MJE, COPE, JAMA network says accountability and accuracy of the integrity cannot be taken by an AI place, and data conflicts, especially it has produced some data as an author, you have a uh, you are there to stand and say, okay, this is a proper data, but AI cannot do that. And there are some legal standing. Let's go to the reporting prompt. So there is something called disclosure, how disclosure has to happen. There are two different types of AI you can use. One, you can use it for assistive basis. So from here, you should focus. Just focus on couple of slides. Try to follow me. If you are not able to follow, let me know in the chat. So you have to use the AI in either you can use it in two forms. One is assistive use, another one is called generative use. So all the large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini AI, Microsoft Copilot, all these comes under generative use. Also, you can use it as an assistive use. There are a couple of tools only meant for assistive use. So whenever you are using the AI for assistive aspect, it is exempted. That I mean, you just mentioned that, okay, particular AI tool was used for grammar check or spelling or overall readability or punctuation, all these things only you have used, then there should not be any problem at all. You can directly say this is what it was used for. There is something called generative AI, which needs to be documented. For example, if you're drafting from scratch, if you're asking, okay, let me go and create, okay, you are giving an instruction to the generative AI, okay, develop something from scratch or do the analysis, or you are giving some idea and then let the AI tool draft it. So those times it's highly recommended you having a log of what you're doing. What I mean by log is if you are typing something, make sure you keep it as a draft somewhere. It can be, I would highly recommend you use it in Google Forms or Google Sheets or Google Docs so that you have the timestamp in that along with the what you are actually asking for. So, but it's highly impossible, or I won't say impossible, it is highly unlikely they accept the paper if you are completely drafting it from the generative AI. I always go for assisting, but I will also show you how a generative AI can be used for writing paper. So we understood what is generative use, what is assistive use. Both has to be disclosed in the cover letter. For example, there should be a statement in the cover letter like Claude AI was used for what purpose, for what. And also in the acknowledgement and manuscript, it has to be mentioned. Some of the figures, for example, you are trying to generate a figure from a manuscript, and that figure is being developed by a AI tool, that needs to be acknowledged or presented in the manuscript saying figure 1 was developed using particular AI tool. So this is called disclosure. So it's not that only you put it in the cover letter, you are also expected to add the details in the manuscript also. So let's get into the rules and regulation, what they say. I'll just go to my Google. Yeah. So when you go to ICMJE, that is called International Committee for Medical Journal Editor. So this is what we always use as an ethics aspect for any manuscript or writing papers, and it is applicable for both authors as well as the editor and the reviewer. So they have clearly given a fifth section. Usually it used to be only four sections. Now the fifth section is there, use of AI in publishing. We have three different rules. First is the, one second. Yeah. The first is the use of AI by authors. Second is use of AI by reviewers and editors' role in ensuring the responsible use of AI. So it is very clearly mentioned. If you can read it later, I can leave the details in the chat or after the session. It is written like humans must ensure that there is an appropriate attribution of all quoted materials, including the citations. Referencing AI generated material as a primary source is not acceptable. What they are also including the citations, like recently I was actually looking at a paper which is a systematic review of papers which are being retracted for the reason of using citations from AI. What I mean by citation, the references. So you go to ChatGPT and then ask for 10 references with particular condition. For since I am from optometry, there might be someone from other fields as well in this meeting. So if you are looking for something like you are asking the ChatGPT to generate 10 references recently about myopia control, and it will give you. But when you get into the paper and search for the particular uh, DOA or the article, it will be all randomly generated. So that's the reason it is you take the complete responsibility of whatever material you are using. So authors should be carefully review and editor the AI generated content. Output can be incorrect, incomplete, or biased. So author should be able to assert that there is no plagiarism in the paper, including the text produced by the AI. So whenever you ask the AI to produce something, it will again look into the previous literature, Google Maps, and like Google images, not maps, images and other details to create an image. So that also can have a plagiarism. So this is something you need to read a lot, read and understand to make sure, okay, you are taking the responsibility and integrity about the originality of the work. So next is the AI used by reviewers. So there is a rules for reviewer also, because like there are journals nowadays. uh, I don't want to name any of the journals. There are non-indexed Scopus index journals. You submit, they will be like within 2 days you will receive some reviewer comments. If you go through that reviewer comments, because I have been handling AI tool for the last 2 years, from the first sentence itself I can find, okay, this review was done by a AI, not a human reviewer. So reviewer, whoever is using AI, ensure should be able to ensure content is appropriate, and AI generated review cannot be completely provided to the authors. So authors also take responsibility here. As a reviewer, for example, I was reviewing a couple of papers last month. When I started reviewing, it clearly said do not upload the paper. It was from a Q1 journal, BMC Public Health, I believe. It was very clearly mentioned, do not upload the paper in any of the AI tools for reviewing. I consent, I will not do it. So after I checked that only, I was able to get into the paper and start reviewing the paper. So it's very important. I know so many senior people might also listen to this. We have a lot of works, but considering that there is someone who has really worked on that, and then AI cannot be used for reviewing. There is also something called editor responsibility. So that is being taken care by the editor. So this is something we should always read. This you can get it from the International Committee of Medical Journals Editors. There is something else called COP. So basically, it's a council where it is also responsible for publication and ethics. This was a paper, anonymous case text, because it was directly received by the editor. It is written like, you can see this, yeah. Yeah, the reviewer contacted the editor about a paper they were reviewing as a content expert. The reviewer thought the paper was very smooth and that many complex were oversimplified to the point that were wrongly conveyed. So you say, okay, simplify the sentence, modify the sentence, reduce the plagiarism. You all give these prompts in the ChatGPT and other platforms, no? So when you oversimplify also, which can detect as an AI. So the person decided to run the AI detection software, which returned as an 80% likelihood of AI generation and blending of multiple concepts, incorrect inferences, repetitive phrases, uniformity in structure, imprecise, ununiformity in structure, imprecise statements. So the paper could be revised or rewritten without AI. That was the comment given to the editor. So editor was unsure about how to handle this paper, and so its story goes like, you can read what is the best way to handle the review paper, is it acknowledgement and things. So the advice from the COPE Council is what this. I am not going to read it completely. You take your time and read it. So these are the two important tools you are expected to read before you start writing any paper. Let me go to the slides again. The third important aspect is the confidentiality and copyright. Never push your unpublished draft manuscript or patient data into a publicly available AI tool. What I mean by publicly available AI tool is, that is the large language models without subscription. If you're going for any large language models and just adding it to the tool, it is going to have a lot of impact on your data, because you might think yours is the first one you are doing it, and something very novel and important people should know, and you try to publish it. So for that, you are pushing it into a platform like large language models and asking it to revise. But the problem is, as soon as it get pushed into the public domain, it is into the cloud, no other option. So as you train the model, as you go and read, like keep asking it, it will go back and see from the previous literature and try to improve the quality of paper. But what happens is that similarly, if someone else also working on similar grounds, and your paper also will be taken as one of the content to revise that paper as well. So there is lot of copyright issue. You will not be able to hold the copyright when it is completely pushed into AI tool, and that is very important. You always remember. So these are the four key things you should know. AI assisted K can assist your manuscript, but it cannot never be an author. When you are using a generative AI, always log your prompts as you move, not from the memory, and disclose whatever you are using it as in your cover letter and manuscript, and never paste any unpublished data in your tool. So I will show you a couple of examples how I use the AI tool. Let me go back to my Google, and these are some of the other papers. Yeah, one second. Yeah. So before, just some time back, I was preparing for this session. So I thought, okay, let's write completely something on A. So this is a first prompt. I'll go to my document. Wait. Yeah. So as a new person who is into the writing skill, so this is how we write. So I'm mostly into qualitative research, and I work on low vision. So I thought, let's pull in let's ask the AI tool to write a qualitative paper study on low vision aids among patient acceptance. Simple, whether they are willing to accept the low vision aids or not, which is a qualitative study. So I also added no AI content, humanize the content. So this is how a novice person who is actually starting to write a paper gives us a prompt. So this is version 1. And I went on giving this prompt. 1 second. Yeah. So I gave this prompt and ChatGPT started working, and it gave a random title: Acceptance of Low Vision Aids Among Visual Impairment, Qualitative Exploration. And it started giving some content. Okay. So this is saying, okay, this is the introduction suitable for ophthalmic and physiological optics. These are the couple of five journals which accepts qualitative research. And because of my previous searching and usage, it has directly picked up the important stuff. Okay, so this is generated, right? Okay, I went on to another version. So this is some other version which I used on same tool. So this is a version 2 of command prompt. You are an excellent reviewer and scientific writer. Focus on the manuscript and improve it as whole. Don't modify the direct quotes from participants. Maintain the originality. Make sure the sentences use only common words and short sentences. Look at these key points. I'm just highlighting something which is very important. Provide only recent references into the introduction. Retain the relevant ones. Also modify the title, okay? Follow the reporting guidelines, which is also important. Generate good figures showing or representing intersection between common aspects. So I have given this prompt, and the same thing was pasted in. 1 second. Yeah, same thing was pasted in ChatGPT. And after that, it went on creating like this. It gave the outline, and then I said provide a fully manuscript for journal submission. So it automatically gave this prompt, and then it created this. This is the output. 1 second, sorry. Yeah, this is the output. Okay, so once this is done, I again go back, copy this, and paste it in my. So this is version 1, and let's see how much of plagiarism it has picked up. When I checked, it showed 85%. I just want you to see also. 1 second. Okay, let's go to the version 2. So this is the version 2, and I have a subscription for one of the tools, and I'm clicking it. This is version 2. Okay, and let's see how much of A it shows. Yeah, it is showing 30%, right? Just see, it is showing 30%. How about the version 1? Let's go to the version 1 and same AI tool. Okay, I'm going to say check the plagiarism. It is 85%. See the difference? So it matters a lot how you ask and how you write the prompt. So detailed prompt, clear prompt can reduce. So from 30% to reducing it to 15-20% is easier compared to 85%. So even if you're using a generative AI for generating something like this, make sure you do it in a ethical and proper way. So if you are someone who is actually looking to learn this entire stuff, I am planning to conduct a small workshop, which is going to be 1.5 hours of time. And this is the details. If you want to register, please do register and join on August 1st. We will learn more about how exactly we should use this AI tool in terms of manuscript writing. Okay, I will share these details. If you want to get the more details, you may either directly email it to me at optoresearch2022@gmail.com or to my personal contact number, and I will send the flyer and details along with this meeting's recording to your chat box or inbox. You can see. So let me stop sharing. Okay, if we have any questions in the another 7 minutes, we'll take.
Hey,
Anyone?
sir.
Yes, Simran.
That is Simran. So first of all, this was a very great presentation and content. Very needful at this point of view. Sir, I just had one question.
Yeah.
Uh, After putting the prompt and the version 2, even the version 1 and version 2, we
Hmm.
you have checked plagiarism, but about what about the AI content, sir? So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
also have to check. Yeah.
That showed the AI content, not the plagiarism. Sorry if I made a
Okay.
mistake. That was the plagiarism. So let me reshare. Give me a second. Just for explain to 1 second. So if you can still see my Word document, right? Yeah. So if I click here and then go to A, so one plagiarism. So you can see 3% matches with your external sources, that is plagiarism. 84% shows pattern as resembling AI text. So this gives both. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, you have anything to ask, Simran? Anything else?
No, sir. I was just asking that only, like seeing plagiarism. You said plagiarism, so I was like, why only plagiarism, not
Yeah,
AI
yeah,
content?
I should have told
Only that.
AI. Yeah, AI content.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to show you something else. Give me a second. So you see my screen, right? So this is something I generated as a figure for one of my manuscript submission. So you can see this is generated by AI, but clearly mentioned generated by Notebook LM at the bottom on the right hand side. So when I submit this as a figure in manuscript as well as cover letter, I have already disclosed that it was generated using AI tool. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Anyone wants to share your experience in writing AI and things?
Sir, even
Is
I have a doubt.
yeah.
So I was thinking, in manuscript or whatever, when we are checking the plagiarism or AI, we have to remove all the figures, tables, and all these things. So now, when you were showing this one, I have a doubt. So always we have to put the entire manuscript and everything, or you have to remove the pictures or tables, and then you have
No, in what stage of writing you are asking, Vinita?
to. I'm asking for the complete after doing all the after writing the manuscript. I'm asking while checking for the AI or the plagiarism, you have to remove all the figures and tables and then have to check, or completely everything along with the figures you have to.
Yeah, yeah. See, whenever you want to check for AI content from abstract till conclusion last point, you have to use, including the tables, including the figures, because that also can have plagiarism and AI content.
Okay, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, sir.
Anyone has any other question?
Hi, Gaganath, Jasmine here.
Yeah, ma'am.
So, yeah, I had a small doubt. The things that you mentioned about uploading our manuscript,
Hmm.
written manuscript in either of the platforms, AI generated platforms, and be sure about where it is going. That
Hmm.
part actually is not clear. One is because we keep on editing and re-editing whatever is written again and again,
Hmm.
and sometimes we get different ideas. So what
Hmm.
happens when we put it there, and suppose now, like, all the history is already available in the AI platforms that we are using
Yeah, yeah.
since long time. So are you telling that we should not put it that way, or when it comes to other things other than patient data? I understand about patient data, but
Hmm.
then there are some things we need to check and recheck. So what's the harm actually?
I still could not follow most of your questions. Can you please rephrase?
Okay. So you said we about writing the manuscript, the
Hmm.
original form,
Hmm.
when we are
Hmm.
uploading it somewhere, any
Hmm.
of the AI platforms. Is
Hmm.
there a risk to it? Be
Risk?
it a patient data or non-patient
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See,
information.
yeah. So what I do basically is like I do not push completely into any platform. Wherever I feel okay that needs some improvement, I take that particular part and then put it in the AI platform and try to expand it or reduce the content, modify it, and then reuse it in my manuscript. So that's what I do. Otherwise, when you push everything together into the any platform, that becomes a big problem. Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that take it part by part,
Yeah, yeah.
or
Part by
uh,
part, if you take, you should be very mindful which content you are actually adding. Never add anything related to patient results. Maybe till methods introduction, maybe you can try. Results, it needs to be completely written by you.
okay. Anyways, you're taking an elaborate session later on.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So
can always join. Right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I am just posting the registration link in the chat box. So you can, anyone wants to do it, registration, please do. I will also share it across WhatsApp groups and other places. And we have another a minute to go. I automatically the meeting will get closed. If you have any other questions to ask me, please drop a message in my WhatsApp number. I'm going to post my WhatsApp number again. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.